Hi, welcome back. This is Dear John. Someone's written in and asked me this question. Someone called Tina said, for 4 years I've been trying to get my daughter clean from drugs. My daughter's ex-boyfriend gave her a heroin pipe at the age of 18 and she's had learning difficulties. And now the boyfriend's gone and she's got rid of him and she's worried now about many things, but her daughter's been clean for 12 weeks, but she's found herself sinking into despair, having bad dreams, and not knowing who she is anymore. So I wonder if any of you out there have had a problem where you've helped your child, a partner, someone else, a good friend, and then after they are okay, you find yourself sinking into despair yourself, start to lose who you are. Now, obviously, with situations like this, we can keep ourselves in that moment because we don't move on. We stay in that time when it all happened, and we worry that that person is going to relapse or that person is going to go back to old ways, and we have to hold on to this hope that they'll do the right thing. But why do we get stuck in the past? Why can't we move on? One of the things that comes to mind for me always is the word forgiveness. And if you have had situations like this, firstly, do you forgive yourself for maybe worrying that you played a part in it? So any parent, if their child has gone down the wrong route, will naturally think, am I to blame? Was I not there when they needed me? So it's important to know that there is a point where your children make an adult decision in their lives, make a choice, as we all do. And our success in life is purely the sum of all our choices. So sometimes someone will make a choice and it will be the wrong choice. They'll go down the wrong road. And that's not what you wanted for them. But we certainly have to make sure we forgive ourselves for anything that they've done, because we were doing the best we could at the time. Also, we could be angry with the person or upset with them or disappointed. Now, I'm not saying Tina is disappointed in her daughter, but do we forgive the person okay? Are we happy with forgiving them for the choices they made? Because it's important to forgive ourselves and to forgive them. And then you've got the person that come into your life, like in this situation, the boyfriend that's caused all this chaos. Now, I'm not saying we have to forgive him, because that would be very hard. But it's really important that we see that person as a kind of a sad character, because they have had their own problems in life. And that person, even though what they did is terrible, were just doing the best they could. Think of it like that. All humans are doing the best they can with what they've got. But we make decisions sometimes that turn out to be not good for us. So the way I'd want to see this boyfriend is to try not to hold on the anger for him, but to feel very indifferent about him and what he did. To feel pity for the sad person that he became in that kind of moment. So it's knowing that you forgive yourself for anything you blame yourself about it, making sure that you forgive the person, and making sure that you forgive or feel indifferent about the people that are involved in it. And that's the beginning, that's a start where we start to move forward. Now obviously Tina wants to hold on to this place of certainty, knowing that her daughter will stay clean, that everything will be safe. And to do this, she's built a set of rules for herself in her life. And these rules are very important. But the thing about it is these rules can make us become very safe, very routine, And life tends to be that we make it very safe, very routine. And then the only thing that's different is that the thing that happened is not there anymore. And that's all we're thinking about. We're just worrying about any more chaos coming. But we're not doing anything to move forward. So we're this person is kind of having terrible dreams and losing themselves. They're just kind of still in that moment. We're sort of stuck there. So how do we move on? I think one of the biggest things, the biggest ways that we can change is to start to first have some self-acceptance. To accept yourself just as you are, okay? To not criticise yourself in any possible way for anything that you think you might have done wrong. And to be able to understand that if you approve of yourself, if you start to love yourself again, then you'll start to actually take very small steps moving forward. Also, what we have to do is lower our expectations of other people. What I mean by this is we all have our own values and beliefs, don't we? And we all expect other people to kind of come up to those values and beliefs, but they don't, do they? They do their own thing. They do crazy stuff. And you think, why are they doing that? Because it's not what you do. You have parts that you would disown in other people. You know, other people do things that are maybe bullying, or they criticise, or they're just takers, and you may not have that side in you. And you look at them with disdain because you can't work out why they're doing it. But that's because you hold an expectation of them. But what you have to do is lower your expectations of others and raise your expectations of yourself. Raise your standards of yourself. Because I know that if you're worrying about who you are and thinking you can't move forward, you're just stuck in this place and you're keeping yourself there. And that is a place that I call a place of resistance. Change is very difficult for anyone, isn't it? You know, we don't like change, do we? It's easy just to be comfortable. How many times have you ever moaned about your bank? You're standing in the queue at lunchtime and all the tellers have gone, and they just leave one person there as a massive queue. You moan about the bank. You hate the bank, but you never change the bank, do you? Because it's easy just to go, oh well, you know, I'll just go back to what I know. Change is difficult, but the way we make change happen is we take little steps, small steps. Now for Tina, what she needs to do is stop building this set of rules on having a very certain, very safe life, and start to try to bring some fun back, some spontaneity, some enjoyment. Start to find out who she is again. And here's the thing, people often go through terrible adversity and they sit and tell me all these adversities they've been through, and it sounds awful. But what I always know is, and what I hear from them, is that they grow strong. They get very strong. You think of everything that's gone wrong in your life. What have you gained from it? You've gained some talents, haven't you? So when someone's been through something terrible like this, they've learned to be strong. They've learned to commit themselves to a person no matter what. They've learned to teach that person some discipline so that they don't cross their own boundaries, but they've also been teaching them self-discipline. And Tina, you will have so much tenacity that you don't realise you've got. You will have great autonomy. You will have a great independent way about yourself. I bet if you really think about it, you've been really self-sufficient. And any of you out there that have had to deal with adversity will have become very self-sufficient, right? And you know what? You think that you can't cope, but when things go wrong again, what do? Straight away you stand up and you go, look, I'm going to deal with this. I'm just going to deal with it. So what you believe about yourself is so important. And if you have a bad belief about yourself at the moment, then you're just going to feed that belief. But what do you believe about yourself when you think about your strengths, your talents, your skills, your problem-solving skills, your creativity, your intellect? What do you believe about yourself when you really sit back and look at yourself from afar? Because at the moment, you might think you're in a problem, in a place. But if you step out of it if you take a different vantage point, a different perspective, step back and look at everything you've been through and what a survivor you've been, you'll realise that you're learning something and you're moulding to the problems. You're moulding and you're almost embracing them at the time and knowing that no matter what, I always get through. Now, it is said that every human has one question that they walk around with in their head all the time. And that question that you have about yourself will change what you do from day to day. So I wonder if you could think about, what is the question that you hold about yourself right now? Every one of you out there, what's your question? Now, Tina's question might be, will it ever be normal again? Will things go wrong again? When will this chaos end? And when you have a question like this, all you'll do is try to keep everything very routine, very safe. You'll put barriers up, right? Ever said to yourself, I've got a barrier and it's like as high as the ceiling and no one's going to get past it? When you put a barrier up, what you do is you disconnect from others. And when you disconnect from others, who's the person you connect with? You. And when you start to connect with yourself and you're feeling low, you don't actually nurture yourself, do you? You don't coach yourself. But what we have to do is change the question. Now, one of my early questions was, will I ever be enough? Will I be good enough? It once changed to, am I lovable? And then it changed to, will I be a success? Your question will always change. But as you change your question, you'll start to change what you do from day to day. So I wonder what you could change your question to in a future thinking way so that you'll become more successful, that you will look at yourself from day to day and recognise all the positive things that are happening to you day to day. One positive thing that I wake up with every morning is, oh look, I'm above ground. I'm still here. That's a pretty good beginning to my day, you know? But what do you appreciate about yourself? What do you appreciate about your life? Think about the people you have around you, your loved ones. Who are the people that are very important to you? If you appreciate them, then you'll feel better about that. If you appreciate how strong you are, you'll feel stronger. If you start to focus on the things that are positive in your life, you'll start to feel more positive. But what question could you have that will move you forward? What if it was something like, I wonder how strong I'll be in a week's time. I wonder what talents that will come out of me in the coming months. I wonder if I could change my life in so many ways that I'll have peace of mind again. And when you have that future thinking question, it becomes like an affirmation. But the most important thing you have to do is make a decision right now to change. You have to make a decision now to be willing to change. And greatness in life comes from doing a lot of small things well. Just small things well. So, what I want you to do is at the end of every day, I want you to look back at your day and pick out the positive things in your day. Write them down if you want. Not the negative stuff, the positive things in your day that was good about today. And then start to work in small steps towards what you want for the future. Now, if we have someone that we care about and we're worried about them going off the rails again, we still keep that lovely connection we have. We support them. We let them know that we're there. But what we have to do at some point is let them nurture themselves. It's like planting a seed, right? You grow a little plant, and when it's growing, you have to nurture it. You have to water it, get the sun on it. But there's a point where that little plant becomes stronger and it starts to do it all by itself. Yeah, occasionally you have to come along and pull out the weeds, right? And those weeds might be those negative thoughts, but you have to just allow it to grow so it becomes stronger itself. But what's really important to know is that when you love yourself and you look after yourself, you can give far more love to others than when you're just giving everything you've got. There's an important time to start to go back and regenerate yourself, rejuvenate yourself, find out who you are again. And I say this to all of you out there. Have you ever had a passion in your life that you stopped doing? Have you ever done something in your life and at some point you just stopped doing it? You gave it up. Like sometimes people say, oh, I used to dance. I loved dancing. Why did you stop? Oh, the boyfriend I was with at the time didn't like it. Are you with him now? Oh no. So why don't you dance again? I don't know really. Some people say I like to paint. I used to love to just sit there with an easel and just paint. I like to draw. I like to read books. I just love books, but I never get the time anymore. What was the passion that you had in your life that you used to love doing and you stopped? And what would you like to learn now? Because remember, right, you've had these problems happen. And these problems have given you new talents, new skills. So what would you like to learn? Now you're becoming very wise. You have great wisdom, okay? What would you like to learn now? What would you like to master? Have you ever wanted to play an instrument? Have you ever wanted to learn to sing? Have you ever wanted to learn to draw? What would you like to do now that can make you move forward? And also, have a look at your house. Your house is always a good representation of how you feel up here. So, if your house is in a bit of a jumble, start step by step, tidying up bits of it, cleaning rooms. Don't do it all at once, just do a room at a time. And you'll find that as you clean your house, you'll mentally house clean your head. Ever done some cleaning and just felt good about your day? It's like, wow. It's like my car, if I clean my car, suddenly it drives better, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. It's the same car, it just feels better. So remember, small steps. Change will always happen in a second, in a moment, but you have to take the small steps first. And you do step by step. And yeah, if you have a problem arise, remember this, you won't go back to the start. You're a lot wiser now. You'll just have a moment where you'll have to solve that problem there and then. But all you want to do is get back to moving forward. It's important to keep moving forward. Growing makes you happy. Learning makes you happy. Moving forward, progress makes you happy. Don't stay stuck for too long. Be willing to change. Make a decision now to change. And have something in your mind that tells you every day, I'm an amazing person, I can cope with anything that comes my way. Have an affirmation that you say to yourself every morning. Today I'll be a success. Everything will go well in my world. I'm a strong and talented person. So thanks to Tina, and keep in touch. Let us know how you get on. And any of you out there, if I can help you in any way, write to me. I am getting a lot of questions building up, so I will answer them in order, I promise. But thanks for listening, and have an enjoyable weekend or whatever you're doing, and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.